Salutations, this is Grumdeville, and welcome to our Let's Play of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. It's been quite a while since the last time we played DCSS on this channel, and we are now in version 0.32. In fact, this version came out in August of 2024. I'm recording this at the very beginning of February 2025 is when I'm starting this series. So it's been out for a while, and, you know, the DCSS crew tends to come out with a couple of versions a year, so Trunk is pretty full of new features, and it probably won't be long before we see a new version. But because it's been a couple of versions since the last time we played, there's a lot of changes since the last time. And I think we should go through some of those. You'll probably notice if you haven't played the game or seen any content about Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup since the last time we played, the species list looks a little different than normal. We have, for example, no more ogre. Instead, it's been rebranded as the Oni, although it's functionally pretty similar. They got rid of the orc, the hill orc, and is now a mountain dwarf, which has huge implications for one of the gods. Bio is no longer... Well, sorry, Bio is still in the game, but Bio is now able to be worshipped by any species, which is pretty huge change. There are a lot of changes to the gods. And that might not be the only species change. There are, I think, a few other tweaks, but one of the other major ones, there is a new species here called a Coglin that I thought might be really fun to try. And also, I apologize, the music, I need to figure out what the right volume is because my music stuff has reset a little bit since the last time we played. But we'll figure it out. The music of this series is going to be a combination of... this song is my own, but my own music is just a very small part of my playlist. The rest of the playlist is as the last few times we've played this game, the Dwarf Fortress, the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress soundtrack, and the Caves of Cud soundtrack by Craig Hamilton, both of which the devs have given me permission to use, and I have bought the soundtracks, and I encourage everybody watching this, if you enjoy the music, to buy both of those soundtracks. And that's how I feel good about using that music, by giving it that plug. All right, so we're going to try a Coglin. And we're going to, let's see. A Coglin is interesting, and I don't know if I can get a description of... Can I get a description of the Coglin? Okay, Coglins ride enchanted exoskeletons. I can't... able to wield weapons in both hands, wrapping slow-revving metal around their puny goblinoid frames. So the Coglin is really special and unique in that they dual wield. No other species dual wields. And there are some interesting things that go along with that. They also cannot wear any jewelry, which is a pretty huge difference and obviously a big debuff, but instead... over time, I think once they reach level 14, they start to build their own devices, which have some of those resistances and features that you would find on jewelry on them, and they kind of become an innate part of their character. So we're going to try this. The last few times we've played this game successfully, we've done, I guess we haven't really done a melee type build in a while. I guess the Brigand was a little bit melee, but I'm just talking about a strength-based melee fighter. I've never played a Berserker. I don't think I've played a Berserker on my channel. I think one of the ways that the easiest way to win the game is often to play a Minotaur Berserker is kind of the go-to thing. But we've never done a Berserker on this channel, so I thought it'd be fun. I think Trog is going to be a good god for a fun Coglin run. So the Berserker is one of the backgrounds. Oh, some of these have changed too. Major changes to how shapeshifting works. There's now a shapeshifter background, and shapeshifting has completely changed. It is no longer a magic... It's still a magic school, but it's not. There are no magic spells regarding shapeshifting. You now use talismans for that instead. There's also no more poison magic. It is now all called alchemy. There are some new backgrounds since the last time we played too, like Reaver. Really interesting stuff. So I don't think Reaver was in it last time, but we're going to do Berserker. It's been around for a long time. Berserkers believe in Trog, the magic-hating god of frenzy. Not much can stop a raging berserker early on, apart from hubris. And the trick about a Trog worshipper is you're really encouraged to use berserking as often as possible. And I have a tendency not to use any abilities that cost things like piety. So I need, and that's a change actually, I think in this version, or maybe the version before that, Trog didn't used to use piety. The berserk ability didn't used to cost piety, and now it does cost a tiny bit of piety. So I need to kind of like make myself use those abilities as often as possible, and remember that I have them. We don't have really great weapon aptitudes, I think for really good reason. But because I want to do a Trog run, we're going to be strength-based, and we have got decent aptitudes in them. I think I want to do hand axes. And I say hand axes, plural, because we are going to probably be dual-wielding single-handed hand axes. And maybe something else, we'll see. It may even make sense to wield 2 different types of weapon, if it makes sense for our aptitudes. Okay, so here we are. We are Grimdevil the Chopper, Coglin of Trog. We have, let's see, what do we start with? Only animal skin, a hand axe, and a dagger. Oh, and a cool feature of the Coglins is, for whatever reason, I think it's just flavorful, but you end up naming the weapons that you wield, and as if they were like unique weapons, which is really cool. And one of the reasons that happens is mechanically, one difference when you wield a weapon, not only do you name it, but it takes longer to wield and unwield weapons as a Coglin. I think if I hit Shift A here, you can see our innate abilities. You can wield a second weapon in your offhand. It takes a long time. I think it's 5 ticks, 5 game units, to wield or remove held weapons. It's the same amount of time it would take to wield or unwield an amulet. Your first few attacks do less damage, so you have this concept of revving your attack. So at first they're slower than normal, but then eventually they get to normal speed, but you're attacking with 2 at once. So you ultimately do a lot more damage than other characters because you're doing damage with 2 weapons. And you cannot equip rings or amulets. Really big difference. And we do start with a god as a berserker. We start with Trog. We start with a bit of piety with Trog, so that means we can immediately use the berserk ability. We can go berserk at will. You can see there's also this ability to invent a gizmo, and if I look at that description, uses your peerless Coglin ingenuity to invent and assemble a one-of-a-kind piece of equipment and permanently install it in yourself. Such inspiration does not strike twice, so choose wisely. Yeah, so I think this happens when you reach level 14. So it's going to be a while. And you'll, like, over time, you'll get some flavor messaging about what that's going to be named, what it might be. And that's all you're going to get. There's no rings, no amulets. So you have to be careful about where you get your resistances from. Which is another good reason we've got 2 weapons. So we can get, if we get unique weapons, we can get resistances and abilities from those. And of course our armor, we can wear all of our armor. We're going to look at our aptitudes. I do have another thing is, the last time we played, we were playing on the Kelby server. That server no longer exists. They deprecated the server, and now this is just on the main crawl, like the central crawl server. So I think my morgue file, I think it's still in some server somewhere. I think they saved all that data, but it's not attached to this one. I also don't have a bot anymore. I used to have Beam or Seam or whatever it was called as like the bot on this server, and I would use it whenever I needed information about a monster. I don't know if it's a change in the fundamental game or if it's something unique to the server that I'm just not used to. But in this version of DCSS, there's a lot more information that they give you when you look at enemies. And I no longer feel the need to look at that bot. I feel like all the information is now present in the game. They've also added like a pink color to warn you when an enemy is not just dangerous, but like you should know something special about them. Like they have, like this particular enemy has a net or a wand. They'll be highlighted in a different color, which I find very useful. Okay, I've done a lot of talking here. I've done like almost 10 minutes of talking. So we're going to do some auto-exploring. This is level 1. Oh, sorry, I didn't even change my abilities. I'm going to cap dodging. I'm going to hit equals and then H for dodging. And we're going to want to be focusing on armor mainly. We're going to be strength-based. We're going to be wearing heavy armor because we're not going to be using any magic. Trog is a god that hates magic. So we're intentionally not going to be using any magic, which means we're going to be wearing the heaviest armor we can find. So we're going to be upping our armor skill and probably not caring very much about our dodging. So I'm going to cap it at 2 just to get that like very baseline, so it's not an irrational number. Or just so it's an integer. I'm going to lower the music a little bit. Sometimes it feels too quiet, and then all of a sudden it'll feel just a tad loud. All right, maybe there. I'm probably going to keep adjusting the music, and what are you going to do? So that's capped. And then our axes. I'm going to focus skill on axes there by hitting C and making an asterisk, and then looking at the hand axe that it gives us to start with, and hitting S to set the skill target on axes as 14. The skill we'd reach level 14 at about 12 levels if we at our current training. So we're going to do that. Now we start also with a dagger, which we don't have any training in short blades, and that's okay. One interesting thing is here, if we hit the at symbol, shift 2, it tells us the damage rating with our 2 weapons, which are different, but you'll notice that it says your attack delay is about 1.0. We only have 1 attack delay, which I think it figures that out by the average of the 2 weapons. So if you're wielding like a really heavy and slow weapon in one hand, but for example, a dagger of speed in the other, they might balance out, and you can actually get that get those really heavy attacks with the slow weapon at the speed that you would with a much lighter weapon. It averages them out. So of course, the more we train axes, the better our attack delay will be. And daggers are just a nice short. I think you start with no aptitude in short blades. Daggers will attack at 1.0, just one tick per second. All right, and I'm going to keep talking as we go, as I remember more and more things. Okay. So yeah, we can probably be a bit cavalier at the beginning. Although I am way more careful. I tend to be way more careful when I'm playing when I'm recording than on my own. I have not won a game as a Coglin. I often don't win games unless I'm recording because I am very impatient when I'm playing on my own. And when I'm recording, I'm very deliberate. Which I like to talk about when I play this game on my channel. I'm very glad I'm playing this game again on my channel. I love playing this game with all of you. It's a really fun one. I also have a new monitor, and it's an OLED monitor, and everything looks really weird for me and a little hard to read because I also resized everything to a really low resolution because of the nature of this game. And it doesn't look great. Hold on. Chainmail of cold resistance. Let's grab that. So right now, actually, this is another thing. Ordinarily, I would just like switch armor and see how it changes our AC and evasion, or armor class and evasion. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just, I hit I to go to my inventory, and I'm hitting G to go to the chainmail. And it tells you right here, our armor class would increase by 6.5, and our evasion would decrease by 4.2. That is a net positive, and we want to focus on AC anyway. And this gives us cold resistance. So immediately, we're upgrading our armor. And shield, wearing a shield will slow down your attack rate. Armor does not. So this is just a better situation for us. This is fantastic. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and drop our animal skin. I'm hitting O to auto explore. A kobold comes into view. Do you have a... yeah, dagger of venom. So we do need to be a little careful here. And it is like, I'm used to... The icons are looking a little weird on my screen. I might need to figure something else out here. So here, I just kind of wanted to show you the monster screen now because the last time we played, you did not... it did not... Actually, as soon as I moved the mouse on the screen, it like... I think it's the OLED, a weird OLED thing where it like dims the screen when I don't have the mouse on it. Anyway... it tells you the max HP. It shows you the willpower. It shows you their armor class, their evasion. And it doesn't show it here, but if they had any like cold resistance or like weakness to poison, it would show that here too. So that's really nice. It shows you their maximum damage, which you're always trying to calculate when you're looking at these things like, oh, is this thing going to be able to kill me? So really, really fantastic. Where We're going to equip you. I mean, equip you. We're going to attack you. And we immediately get a better weapon. I'm going to hit just hit wield here and hit comma to wield things that are on the floor. Instead of our +0 dagger, we're going to get a +0 dagger of Venom, which is really fantastic. And I'm going to replace that with the dagger. And then we can go ahead and drop the old one. Sweet. So we've already got Venom, and we're still wielding an axe. Nice. All right, this is a good start. All right, this is just a corridor, so this is a good situation, good place to be. We've got really high armor class for level 1 of the dungeon. And we found some poison darts. Love it. 6 poison darts. Do I need to like keep moving the mouse back? I don't know what I'll figure something out. Don't worry about it. After this first session, I'll figure out how to make my monitor work a little better for playing DCSS in full screen on a low resolution. Yeah, we're destroying. All right, we got our first increase in attributes at level 3, and we don't need intelligence. We're not using any spells. We're not using a shield. We're not using ranged weapons, so we really don't need dexterity either. We're just going all in on strength on this one. Your brain swirls with designs for a Nulla experimental integrator. You just need some more time. So I think that's random, like what it's going to be called. I don't know how they figure that out, but I think ours is going to be a Nulla experimental integrator when we get to level 14. Very cool. Oh yeah, and so you can see also this like, if you look over here, I'm going to attack this goblin. And now it says a little blue rev. Oh, there's a little popover. You're starting to limber up. Your weapon-based and unarmed attacks are closer to full strength and will continue to grow more powerful with each swing. I didn't know. I never used the mouse, so I didn't know I had that hover over functionality. That's great for showing you how this works. Look at that. And now Rev has a little, it's white and it has a little asterisk. You're limbered up. Your weapon-based and unarmed attacks are at full strength and will remain so as long as you keep swinging and for a short while afterward. So now we're just doing a ton of damage because we're attacking with both weapons at full speed and full strength. And that lasts a little bit. We walk around and it starts going down. Now it's Rev Plus. After a few steps, it's just normal Rev, and then it goes away. So good mechanic to know how it works. It incentivizes you to keep swinging. I think there's a little... No, I thought there was a little lag here. We're fine. Boom, boom. I'm going to tab these guys to auto attack. Great. Let's see if we missed anything on this level. Nope. And you know what? When I play DCSS, I have a habit at the end of each level hitting Shift P to see if I picked up any jewelry that I missed. But this character can't wear jewelry, so I'm going to keep doing that out of habit. I'm just letting you know now. But the other thing to look at is Shift V to see if we've picked up any evocables. And we have not, like any wands or anything like that. And I will say, even though we can't use magic, and it looks like our aptitudes are pretty middling as a Coglin, if I look at all of our aptitudes here, we actually have really good evocations. Oh, also, we have bad invocations. So that's another really good reason to pick a god like Trog. Trog doesn't care about invocations. There are a few gods where invocations doesn't really do anything. Trog is one of those gods. So really, that's kind of synergistic with the Coglin. And, you know, the magical abilities, a little bit of alchemy, but, like, really bad spellcasting, too. So you're really a melee class. But evocations, +3. So when we find wands, and Trog has no problem with you using evocations. So we are definitely, once we find our first wand or evocable, we'll probably be training our evocations up, too. Okay, let's go down to floor 2. And some of these songs, this is the first time the Caves of Cud 1.0 has come out. Oh, +1 pair of gloves. Let's wear those. Excellent. Armor class is 10 now. Caves of Cud 1.0 came out since the last time we played. And as you know, if you've watched my channel, because we have that content. That included an update to the soundtrack. A lot of additional songs that Craig Hamilton added to the soundtrack. So some of these songs I'm not quite used to. I did try to remove songs that were like a little too abrasive for the chill vibe that I try to nurture when I play these games on my channel. But so some of them, you know, there may still be a bit of back and forth with songs that I take out or add to the rotation. But yeah, some of these songs we probably haven't heard before on the channel because they're new to the Caves of Cut soundtrack. It's possible they've added stuff to the Dwarf Fortress soundtrack, I'm not sure, but I don't think I've re-downloaded it. There also, this game has a lot of, with the updates, there are new sprites for weapons, for monsters, and of course there are just big changes to some of the monsters and stuff in the game. Alright, let's take out this knoll. That was a little dangerous, but not super dangerous for the armor that we already have, and especially since we have poison. Alright, partly explored. There is a bookshop, but we don't... wait, can we get to it? Oh, we can get to it. Yeah, we can just go in here. That's fine. But yeah, they're all magic books. Bookshops could still have skill books in them, which we can use, but they're mostly going to be magic books. So, all right, let's go down to Dungeon 3. We don't have any R poison, so we do still need to be careful around like adders and stuff like that. But I was feeling pretty confident. Plus, they can outrun us. So what are you gonna do? Javelins are nice. I don't know if we're gonna train up our throwing. We don't have good aptitude in throwing. I would rather focus on evocations, especially once we get wands. Where'd you go? Oh, we killed the bat. Okay. I'll let the enemies come to me whenever we can, because you never know what's lurking behind the darkness. Level 3, you can start coming across some things. Even level 2, you can get some nasty surprises if you meet certain unique monsters early. Like an early Siegfried. Ooh. Or an early Grinder. Okay, we're fine. I should also take stock of our scrolls. Yeah, we already have a bunch of scrolls and a decent amount of potions too. So when we get down to the Dungeon 4, we'll start identifying we'll start reading some of the scrolls that we have multiples of, and hopefully start identifying some of our potions. So there's a ring, but we cannot wear rings. Like sometimes it's fun to see what they are, to see what we're missing out on, but we cannot wear them at all. Oh. Here is a ring mail that gives us regeneration. It would lower our int to 2. It also gives our corrosion. Int doesn't help us. The only danger with having your int at 2 is if something lowers your int more. If your int goes down to 0, that I don't remember exactly what happens, but it's not good. I don't think we need to worry about that here. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. It would decrease our armor by 3.3, and our evocations would increase by 2.8. So it is lower, and of course we would no longer have resist cold, but especially this early in the game, having a source of regeneration and our corrosion, because our corrosion can really be devastating. I think I am going to switch to this armor for now. I'm going to switch to the ring mail, and we're going to be really, really stupid. Okay, and we are going to go up this hatch. The reason to go up those hatches is because when you get down to the very bottom of the game, assuming you get down to the very bottom of the game, there's another amulet we can't wear. You want to know the fastest path up, and that might include hatches. Okay, that is all of Dungeon 3. Let's go down. All right, we're going to let this Quokka come to us. And now we're going to start reading some scrolls. We've got 7 scrolls. That's probably identify. Let's find out. Yes, a scroll of identify, and let's start identifying some of these potions. We'll start with what we have the most of, like the murky coppery potions is resistance. Then the fuming blue potions are potions of mutation. All right. I think we can identify all of our potions, so let's go ahead and do that. Enlightenment... Berserk Rage, all right. Yeah, we haven't actually used our Berserk ability yet. We haven't really felt a need to. Potion of Attraction could come in useful in the right situation. Curing, that's really good to identify early. And Heal Wounds, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, here we have another hand axe. I guess I'll grab it. Here's also the temple, a pretty early temple on Dungeon 4, but it doesn't do us any good because we have our god and we're sticking with him. All right, come to me. We're still level 5. Yeah, having this regen is really nice, especially because we don't have our poison. In the early game, I feel like regen can really mitigate a lot of the poison damage, especially if you're just like poison 1, it just kind of like gives you that health back. Like we barely got damage there. Of course, if you find a wasp really early, doesn't really matter. You can probably still die if you don't take care of that in the right way. Okay, and here's a jelly, so really glad we have our corrosion on at this point. We still don't have any evocables, right? No. I might... You just have a club. Do I back up here? I don't think we have any choice. I think we do need to kill this jelly because it is as fast as we are, right? The other thing that we could do, yeah, it would say if it was faster or slower than we are. The other thing that we could do, because we do have an enemy between us and it, and that enemy is poisoned, so it might even die, is just start backing up to the stairs, keeping a space in between us. Just for a little more protect. It would rather stair dance with it, especially because we don't know what kind of enemies are behind it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start backing up. Yeah, there's a lot of space in between. And going to the upstairs. And we should even be able to throw a few things at the jelly. Well, I think I'm going to throw some javelins here. Oh, well, I guess throwing took a little longer than I expected. Okay, going up is just going to waste a turn here. But we have an axe, which does cleave damage, which means it will do damage to... If I attack the red jelly, it's also going to hurt the orc when the axe hits. So, or there's a chance to. So I'm going to go ahead and attack the jelly. All right, we did get corroded. They also, the last time we played, I don't think our corrosion worked the same way. I think there was just a lower chance of getting corroded. But the way it used to work is when you got corroded, it would go in multiples of 4. Now, if you have our corrosion, I think it just halves that. So it's just, you get corroded the same frequency, but it halves the amount of corrosion, which I think is much, much better. Okay, it's poisoned. I feel good about that. All right, it's dead. And we're just, corrosion, -2, not the worst, especially when we're just fighting this little orc. Although it's carrying a war axe. Whoops. We're about to upgrade our axe. I'm going to take it. I'm not necessarily going to switch to it yet. Let's take a look. So our... I am going to set our axe skill target to the war axe. So I'm going to hit S. The skill target there is 16. And now if we look at our skills here... Sorry, I hit my mic stand. You can, and I hit equals. You can see that the target has been set to 16. I haven't set a target on fighting or armor. I'm just going to keep training those... maybe for the rest of the game, I'm not sure. I think the skills for this character are going to be pretty easy to manage. And yeah, so the war axe, I'm looking for what our current attack delay would be. It's on here somewhere. Current attack delay 1.2. So when we get to an attack delay of 1.0, that might be the right time to change. Like our current attack delay with the hand axe is 1.0. Although let's see, because we wield 2 weapons, it's gonna get mitigated anyway. So, you know what? I am gonna just switch to it. We're gonna wield it. Wait, what? Wield war axe instead of the hand axe. And we have named it Carlos. Carlos the war axe. And now if you look at this, it looks like our attack delay is 1.1. But it was about 1.1 at the very beginning of the game. I know it said 1.0, but if you looked at how we were attacking, it was closer to 1.1. And this is going to do, I think, a lot more damage. So I think this is just an upgrade. I'm going to drop one of our hand axes. And if we end up reading a scroll of brand weapon, we might want to brand one of those. Ooh, okay, there's Sigmund. We're going to run away, and we're going to go up that hatch. Because you can see that already did a bunch of damage to us. Wearing a robe of willpower also. To note. Okay. Heal up. Let's go down these stairs. All right, so we know Sigmund's over there, and we should prepare for that. Yeah, and when I say prepare for that, mostly I mean remember that we have Berserk, and we are at 2 pips of piety with Trog. That means we can also use Trog's hand. So Berserk, it makes you Berserk. It really increases your... it's kind of like a might potion. It increases your... Actually, it doesn't say... increases your health, your speed, the damage dealt. But after a short time, it will run out. Oh, I didn't realize that it could be extended by multiple kills. I don't know if that's a change. I don't know. But apparently, I learned something today. Berserk can be extended by multiple kills. But when you're Berserk, you can't drink potions. You can't read scrolls. You can't... I don't think I could use Trog's Hand if I was already Berserk. So if you want Trog's Hand on, you do Trog's Hand first and then go Berserk. Trog's Hand, however, it lets you regenerate more, and it increases your willpower. So if you're suddenly faced with something that can banish you, for example, and you don't have the willpower to mitigate the chance of being banished, use Trog's Hand. We already have a source of regen, but regen stacks. All right, so when we fight Sigmund again, we do have some poison darts that we can throw, and Sigmund will also confuse you, and you can mitigate the chance of being confused with higher willpower. So Trog's Hand might be something that we use here. I think that's a good idea, actually. Let's take advantage of Trog. All right, I don't know where Sigmund went, but he's around here somewhere. Sigmund also turns himself invisible, so there's that. He's around here somewhere. All right, we'll kill the endoplasm. And I'm gonna try to keep these episodes between 30 and 40 minutes. Probably closer to 35. I should have brought the Phantom up. Okay, it's fine. Bombardier beetles are new since the last time we played. I think they're like boulder beetles in that I think they're susceptible to poison. Yes, they are. You can see the R poison X. And they have this ability called Pyre Arrows. We'll take a look at. Launches a glob of liquid fire that clings to a targeted creature, dealing armor-ignoring fire damage over multiple turns. The victim can put out the fire much more quickly by moving. So you want to kill these things as fast as possible. But as it said, they are susceptible to poison. So we're going to throw some poison darts, which we have. If I can get it 2 pips of poison, I'll feel pretty good. Okay. And now maybe we can just get out of its line of sight so it can't cast. Okay, we killed it. Nice. Uh-oh. I took a step too far. I didn't see that scorpion there. I don't want that scorpion to get... Okay, good. We can kill the adder. I didn't want to fight a scorpion and an adder, especially at the same time. Let's go down another staircase. Scorpions are also... They can poison you pretty badly if you don't have a source of R poison. But they themselves are susceptible to poison, which is how I like to kill them. Just like we did with the Bombardier beetle. So yeah, Bombardier beetle will just light you on fire. Okay. Well, we've got 2 poison darts on us, but hopefully you can pick these back up. Alright, there's Sigmund. Alright, first things first. Am I worried about the... Where did we see the scorpion last? It could be nearby. I don't want to fight the scorpion at the same time. I think we'll start with Trog's Hand, and that will make it aware of our presence. But actually, let's take a look at Sigmund. Yeah, so 38% chance to confuse. But I think if we use Trog's Hand, which increases our willpower, that will lower. And of course, Sigmund can also do Magic Dart and throw Flame and cast Invisibility. There's not much we can do about the invisibility at this point. Except try to maybe attack him in a corridor. And of course, Sigmund has a Scythe, which can attack at range from a whole additional space away. All right, so here we go. We're going to use Trog's Hand. Hold on. You're also wearing a ring that gives you fire resistance and susceptibility to cold. And also a much higher strength, which could be dangerous. That would increase your damage that you do to us. What damage does the Scythe do? Max damage 13? All right, so we could take like a few hits. All right, anyway. But we're going to be regenning faster too. So Trog's Hand, look, we've got regen and will ++. And now if we look, the chance of confuse is 1%. Much better. And I'm going to charge at you rather than throw poison darts because I want to get you in that corridor. I could be using Berserk, but I think we're going to be okay here. Yeah, we're fine. I was mostly worried about the confusion, which can be pretty devastating, and the invisibility. But we got him in the corridor. We got Trog's hand, and we used the Piety for Trog's hand. We don't need to waste the Berserk. All right, we are now level 7. Axis skill at level 6. Our brain swirls with designs for a tuning commutator. You just need some more time. Yeah, so I think we get... Yeah, I think the way this works is we've come up with a few... We come up with a few ideas over time, and at level 14, I think you choose from among all of these ideas. It'll be like... It's kind of like when you read a scroll of acquirement. It's like you can get one of these 3 or 4 things for your scroll. It'll be like, oh, you've come up with these 3 ideas. Which one do you want? This particular device gives you like resistance fire and this something else, you know. Okay, Robe of Willpower. I'm not going to take the Robe of Willpower. It's just not enough armor for us, and we have Trog's hand as a source of emergency willpower. All right, there's that Scorpion. Let's get it with the Poison Dart if... Okay, well, we have a Poison Dagger, so that'll also work. Okay, good. All right, let's finish up this floor before we put in a cut. I think we should be able to do that pretty quickly. Oh, let's back up to here. I'm a little worried about the Ogre, but you know what? We have some javelins, which means we can safely attack it from a distance through all these other creatures. Okay. I don't think I feel the need to Berserk here because how much damage can you do? Oh, max damage 41. So you could kill us in 2 hits. Let's play it safe. We haven't used... It's episode 1 and we haven't used Berserk yet. Let's use Berserk. Boom. You can see how powerful it is. And yeah, there were a lot of enemies to kill there. And now Berserk ran off and now we're slowed. It was just something I think I was trying to explain, but I forgot to mention. Slow can be really bad. Which is why you want to make sure you kill everyone while you're berserked, and not caught in a slow while there's still powerful enemies around. Minus berserk just means you can't use berserk again until minus berserk goes away. All right, this is all fine. Well, there's another identity scroll. We do have a potion that we haven't identified, so let's read that. Ruby potion is a potion of lignification. That could come in really handy if we come across until we get our poison, if we come across a swarm of bees. We're level 8. We are stronger. Here's another war axe, which I will take. I think for the time being, I'm going to keep the venomed dagger. But if we do find a branding scroll, end up reading a branding scroll, we may end up with 2 war axes. I don't know. And, once we train up our axes even faster and get below 1.0, once our attack delay is below 1.0, we may... poison is really good in the early game, so I may still keep the dagger for a while, but wielding 2 war axes is going to be nice soon. Okay. I think this is a good place to end episode 1. I'm excited about this run. I'm hoping we can get through this without any restarts. Also, I don't know what this is over here. I'm going to get rid of that. That's like a weird, again, I think a weird server thing. This is the first time I played on my Grimdevel account on this server, so I think there's some new things there. But I did port my old RC file from my keyboard commands and setup for what we pick up and stuff like that from my old game. So anyway, I'm really excited about playing the series. I'm really glad to be playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup with all of you again. And I'm excited about the Coglin. I think the Coglin's really fun, and it's going to be fun to play a Berserker. So yeah, leave comments, subscribe, all those things. It's the first episode. Mostly just leave comments. I love to engage with all of you about this game. And I enjoyed playing with you today, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.